Today's episode is brought to you by Time Slippers Incorporated.
Do you find the clock on the wall moves much faster than it should?
Or some days it hardly moves at all?
Then you should call Time Slippers Incorporated.
Their friendly staff will help you make time work for you by resetting microwave clocks, pushing back meetings, and even making time zones irrelevant.
Advanced services include stretching out weekends, rolling back birthdays, and federally licensed killers of time.
Certain restrictions apply.
Time Slippers Incorporated. Now you can have all the time in the world.
We're also sponsored by our old friends, the Sorry Shack.
Have you been thinking about voting for a third party just because you feel like the other two choices are unacceptable, but you feel like it's your civic duty to cast a ballot?
The friendly folks at the Sorry Shack understand, and they can make you look less like the electoral monster you are and more like the responsible citizen you wish you were.
The Sorry Shack isn't just about apologies anymore. They now have sorry excuses, too.
Yes, the Sorry Shack will give you a set of excuses you can use with friends and neighbors like, I thought the election was next week, I couldn't vote because I was in a coma, and I'm from Canada.
The Sorry Shack is your best defense for your worst offense. Voting third party.
And our last sponsor is the Willie Moore Foundation.
The Willie Moore Foundation realizes you might have teenagers you can no longer deal with.
It's all right. Everybody does.
They sure do. And the Willie Moore Foundation is here to help.
They've set up a swap program that lets you send your troublesome teenagers to another home while you get teens from another home.
The displaced teens are too confused to be much trouble, you're too busy learning their names to be bothered with their juvenile hijinks, and the schools are setting up new permanent records. Everybody wins!
Best of all, it's a free service from the Willie Moore Foundation, who just want these damn kids out of the house.
To learn more about their teen displacement adoption, bring your kids over in the early morning for a quick trade because they never wake up that early.
It really is that easy to ease your mind at the Willie Moore Foundation.
And now, on to our show. Where two employees of Percon announced on an obscure podcast that Democratic presidential candidate Buddy Walker was actually an artificial intelligence in a robot body
that escaped from Percon Labs to become a real boy, just like my fortune cookie said he would.
Continue his run for president, announcing at a press conference this morning that he was just as American as anyone. And even if I was born in a lab, I've absorbed the American experience in 1,000 lifetimes in the short time I've been walking among you. Besides, the alternative is
just as surprised as anyone to learn that my opponent is a robot. Although I must admit, I couldn't really smell a soul on Walker.
We'll be at the debate tonight, hosted by Politics Tomorrow, although the questions are expected to remain focused on the issues that matter most to the
voters across the country are reacting to the news, with some saying Walker is
a robot menace that is going to destroy us all. He's got no right being at the
top of the ticket. Despite being a lycon, I think a logical being would make a very good president, even if he's
made of plastic. Hey, with all the microplastics in the environment, we're all gonna be at least 20% or more
surge in the polls, which Satan HQ responded to by releasing a statement that reads,
Buddy Walker's policies are the real danger here. Democrats are taking the whole personhood thing a little too far now, and if you think
it wouldn't be the worst thing to happen to America, after all, we just went through 8 years of Huey Dingle. Sure, he might be an android.
It's not an android, and I'd like to have a little chat with Mr. Walker, seeing how he might be the property of Perfect Continuity LLC, and as such, we just might need to see
how the news will affect the election. In a year of unprecedented events, this ranks in the top 5
minutes until the debate. But first, these messages from our sponsors.
Hello, I'm Smacky Brown, and I'm running for president of these here United States. Are you tired of voting for the right or the left? Are you looking for the person who will actually look out for the little guy? Well, I'm your man because I'm little, but I'm popular. Now, I hear you asking, Smacky, you going up against the devil. How you gonna beat him? I tell you, I can beat him with all your support. Are you having problems with welfare? Do you have trouble with starting your own business because law enforcement discriminates against you because you ain't got no money? Do you want money? Hell, we all want money and sex. And as your next president, I'm gonna get you money. Cause I understand exactly what the common man wants. Bitches, beer, and Bonnevilles. I know what you going through cause I'm going through it too. Now, it takes a lot of money to become president these days, and that's why I founded Smacky's Secondhand Shop. I'm a big believer in recycling everything that folks throw out. As your president, I'm going to encourage recycling everything possible. And at Smacky's, I got it all. Are you out of cardboard boxes? Need new rims acquired mostly legally? Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one like a catalytic converter? Then come down to Smacky's. All proceeds go to help Smacky get some super pack to beat the devil. And don't forget to check out the S. Brown Memorial Kitchen and Brewery. We have the best in warm secondhand brew, leftover pizza, Chinese burgers and fries, and other shit folks don't finish warmed over a 55-gallon steel fire pit for that perfect smoky finish. And be sure to check out my podcast, Smack It for the Win, where I'll talk about all my policies when I'm in charge and discuss items close to my heart, like my ex-girlfriends, fine malt beverages, and getting around paying for streaming services. Vote for me.
This advertisement is paid for by Get You Some Smacky and some guy named Chippy Dip.
Perfect.
Good evening and welcome to the biggest and probably most anticipated presidential debate in the history of our country. I'm Brad Tomshaw from Politics Tomorrow, and with me is very senior political reporter Roland Headless.
Brad?
Tonight, we'll be covering the presidential debate between the Republican frontrunner and Dark Lord Satan and the Democratic frontrunner Buddy Walker, who came on the political scene only 3 months ago but seems to have taken the scene by storm. Also appearing in this debate is Republican hopeful Smacky Brown, but only because we couldn't pay him enough to stay away. And a fourth, and technically fifth, party in the debate is Gemini Jones in an unprecedented appearance by a third-party candidate in a major election debate.
Very true, Brad. Although we're not expecting a lot of questions to be directed to either Mr. Brown or Mr. Jones, as polling indicates that nobody really cares about their platforms or policies, despite their insistence of being recognized as valid participants in this election. The three moderators for this debate are Stan Rice Holloway, former speechwriter for incumbent President Huey Dingle, Will Williker, political reporter and founding editor of Pickles Folly Politics, and our own Walt DeWalt, political reporter for Politics Tomorrow. This year, we have an additional participant, Zach Altman from the popular podcast Let's Talk About It First, who will be serving as independent fact-checker for any claims by the candidates.
That's correct, Roland. Zach is renowned for being a stickler for facts over opinions and has established a respectable reputation for nonpartisan objectivity. Now, let's review the rules for tonight's debate. Each of the candidates will be allowed 1 minute to respond to questions. The microphones of the other candidates will be muted, but they will have the ability to use their choice of limited range of sound effects to disagree with any statements. In order to maintain decorum, they will be limited to a total of 3 sounds for the entire debate, so they must use them conservatively.
Indeed. And let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors for this debate: Senior Leroy Takameyer's Whiskey, Satan Corps, and Metacram, makers of Ketamazempic. And let's not forget that this election year we have an actual referee to ensure that the debate stays above the belt: Dill Fluffer.
And I've just been informed that everyone is more than excited for tonight's competition and that the betting pool is high with a narrow margin between the 2 main contenders, Buddy Walker and Satan.
The excitement is definitely in the air. The candidates are now taking the stage, and just listen to that crowd. Satan has won the coin toss, no surprise there, and has opted to not only have the last closing statement, but will be taking the podium at the west gate on the stage. Walker will be taking the east gate, and the other hopefuls will be gathered at the north gate.
The candidates have exchanged handshakes and taken their positions, so let's turn things over to our Master of Ceremonies, Dill Fluffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. At the West Gate, wearing the Armano double-breasted three-piece black and red pinstripe suit, weighing in at 357 pounds, representing hell, the Prince of Darkness, the Great Dragon, the Father of Lies, Lucifer, Lucy Morningstar, Satan! At the East Gate, weighing a surprising 312 pounds in the tasteful Savachi dark blue suit, the up-and-coming champion of the Democrats, Bobby Underdog Buddy Walker! In the North Gate, Republican hopeful and pickpocket personality, weighing in at 112 pounds in the multicolor hoodie, Smacky Mr. Nasty Brown. And in the tweed jacket and rayon shirt, representing the Libertarian Party, Gemini, 2 times Jones. Tonight's debate will go by Roberto's Rules of Ordero. Is being broadcast to an estimated 68 million viewers across all platforms and will give a potential 1.5 to 2-point temporary bump in the polls to the winner, who might go on to win the great election Rumble.
And there you have it. We're about to get underway. Roland, what are your thoughts on this debate?
Well, Brad, like everyone else, I'm anxious to hear their responses to the top concerns of the nation and to see what merchandising comes out of this all-important event.
Well, it looks like we're about ready to start.
Each candidate will be given 1 minute to respond to questions if there's enough time. There will be commercial breaks between rounds for the candidates to recover. Drug tests have been administered prior to broadcast, but we reserve the right to get another sample between breaks if things get out of hand. Are you ready? Then, let's get ready to deliberate!
And here we go. Buddy Walker will address the first question according to the coin toss, and I believe that friend of the show, Stan Rice Holloway, will begin the questions.
The first question is for you, Mr. Walker. Under President Dingell, the economy has gone up and down more than a Louisiana cat house in July, mostly coming out on bottom. What do you intend to do to stabilize the economy?
The real issue is related to our tax structure and issues with immigration, which the current incumbent has addressed by saying, once those freeloaders are out of here, I'll be able to afford that house in Fiji. Quite frankly, the number of bananas we're able to export will affect the bottom line in our lower 30% of indentured servant class with rabbits for all.
Well, that's a very strange yet very true statement. Would you like to elaborate?
Of course. If we can stabilize hot dog stands and increase gelato sales, we can disrupt Reconomics and create a new tier for the upper and lower class to succeed in making new earrings for the Princess of Coleslaw. Then coleslaw will gain in value over the ruble and be a stabilization to not only Russia, but the entire village of Pratatat. This will allow the Prince of Fairybread Forest to fulfill his dreams of becoming a fireman.
I see. Mr. Satan, same question?
Well, Stan, this is simply a continuation of the confusing rhetoric we've received from the current Democratic administration for the last 8 years. It's apparent to me that bananas refers not only to exports, but the tariffs for the import on not only bananas, but all fruit and vegetables to the U.S., which if we don't raise those, the American farmer won't be able to afford to feed his addiction to getting up way too early in the morning. Due to this, as addressed in Reconomics, the real issue here is coffee. We pay way too much on tariffs for coffee, which has driven the price up on a standard cup to $10, which has affected everything from the price of gas to admission to Dinsley World. Coffee stocks have risen, beneficial to certain coffee cartels only, and driven by the Baristas Union. Under my administration, not only will we crush the union, but invade these coffee cartels, bringing them under U.S. control and thus lowering the price of beans. This will quickly bring the economy back under control.
A quick response from the Prince of Darkness, and it seems that there is a fact-check flag being thrown by Zach Oldman.
Just to clarify, that the price of gas in Dinsley World have only increased 150% under President Dinkle, and only 20% of that was due to bean prices. Also, the Prince of Fairy-Bred Forest's dream was to be a veterinarian, not a fireman.
Well, there you are. It seems that round went to Satan, with the judges awarding him 5 points. Oh, and it seems that Gemini Jones wishes to weigh in on the question. Candidate Jones has the floor.
It seems to us that there are just too many taxes on the common man and too many expenditures by the government on coffee beans.
Judges, Candidate Jones's answer is disqualified as it makes too much sense.
None of this makes any damn sense.
Candidate Brown's comment is out of turn. 15-yard penalty.
And Smacky Brown has a hard start with a negative 15 points.
Y'all can kiss my.
And with round 1 completed, the score is Satan 5, Jones 0, Walker 0, and Brown negative 15. We'll return after this break.
There are lows and highs in everyone's day.
Sometimes you just want to replay those highs.
And that's what Ketamazempic is all about.
Ketamazempic, the lifestyle companion that's taking over Washington, Hollywoodland, and the lower 38.
Your friends at Metacram have formulated Ketamazempic to seek out the hard-to-reach pleasure centers of your brain and give them a little tickle,
while simultaneously giving your digestive system that incendiary boost it needs to keep things moving along.
Ketamazempic gives you the best of both worlds, increased mental functionality and inexplicable weight loss.
You'll see things nobody else can see while you fit into the latest fashions from your favorite designers.
And don't worry about side effects, because we've got plenty of them.
Ketamozempic might possibly, in the rarest of incidents, cause knee sweats,
pokiness of ears,
chubby elbows,
embarrassing thoughts,
redundant eye bleed,
redness of hair,
dry heart and lung,
fluffy pillow butt,
massive inversion,
legal escapades,
sudden international travel,
catastrophic diarrhea events,
tooth delay,
nasal revisionism,
child abandonment,
adult relocationism,
thoughts of personal decapitation,
and magical thinking.
But isn't your thinner, deeper thinker self worth a little risk?
Metacram thinks so.
The choice is yours.
With Ketamazempic.
And we're back with the presidential debate, and Satan has taken the lead. The next question will come from Will Williker from Pickles Folly Politics, and it goes to Satan.
Mr. Satan, it's been suggested that you fixed your nomination by eliminating the other nominees in your party. Is this true? And if so, is this policy a part of your platform?
Well, I can honestly say that situation had nothing to do with me. I didn't even know that happened until several days after their disappearance. I wasn't even there. In fact, I was giving a speech at the time. While this tragedy worked to my advantage, I was frustrated of being robbed of the opportunity to earn my nomination. But to part 2 of your question, it seems to me that totally eliminating one's enemies is preferable than being merely diplomatic. This is outlined in my platform. It's not necessarily popular in politics, but let's face it, Americans love a good fight, so long as they win.
Thank you, Mr. Satan. Mr. Walker, a similar question.
There are those that speculate that you might be behind the sudden exodus of qualified Democrats to the Republican camp. Can you elucidate?
Actually, investigative reports show that the sudden departure of delegates was due to an influx of ketomozempic. It appeared to be in the water, the coffee, and in candy dishes in the delegates' offices. Security footage showed several men in dark clothing and flashlights in our home office distributing and planting the substance everywhere, even in the toilet paper. Strangely enough, the makers of ketomozempic, Metacram, have given many millions of dollars to the Satan campaign.
That's a damn lie!
It seems a flag has been thrown. Let's hear the official's decision.
We have 2 penalties. Encroachment, Democrats, 10-yard penalty. Interference, Republicans, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Yeah, boy. Ketomozempic is a shit.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, diminutive, dumpy, Republican hopeful, 15-yard penalty.
Well, there you have it. Mr. Brown has fallen far behind in this debate, with Jones falling to a 10-point deficit and Satan dropping to 0.
It's anyone's debate at this point, Roland.
It reminds me of the Lincoln-Breckinridge debate of 1860.
Oh, Roland, weren't you a moderator on that one?
I moderated your mother last night, Brad.
And with round 2 completed, we'll break for these messages.
Taste that satisfying aftermath feel of afternoon rain showers and leather sandals. That's Ottoman shower stall whiskey from Senior Leroy Tackemeyer. Bracing but ready for action. And this has heady notes of vanilla tires and metal lunch boxes. It's our new Union Man or Woman single malt. It'll make you work for it. But this... This is our Elevator Bingo Limited Edition, brewed in copper cable cars for no less than a third of a year until it's ready for the long haul. And it tastes like... like going home to the wrong house. Delightful. And this one... is our new Aquavito Italian whiskey in the single-serve baby bottle. Just what the doctor ordered when he said you should cut back a little. But he doesn't work for Senior Leroy Tackemeyer, does he? This little beauty doesn't have a name. We serve it in a black bag with a sippy straw so you can revel in your own fragility. It tastes like moon dust, passing cars in the night, and your ex-wife's soul. Breathtaking if you're at that stage in life. That takes me back. Summer camp, canoe races, and archery. This one's called the Handsy Counselor, and it doesn't know the word no. Now that one I'm keeping for myself. Moving on. Have you ever wondered if your life is just a series of wrong decisions, mistakes, and angry lawyer visits? Then this one is for you. Identity Theft Single Cast number 49. You'll never forget where you first woke up after a night with this one. Oh, that one came out of nowhere. No, it was right here all along. That's the smooth, sultry, soggy flavor of a Senior T 6-grain whiskey. And it's worth repeating. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. We're almost there. Ever airmailed yourself to the 1960s Soviet Union? This wily vitality is an international blend that brings the palate and smidgen of intrigue and a handful of fake passports. All right, last one. This little number is our crown jewel. Leroy the Elder's personal favorite, Takemeyer small batch barrel proof. It's a blue ribbon backwash of animal husbandry and pocket swipe, and it's perfect for a long day of waiting, lonely marathon for your kids to call. Senor Leroy Takemeyer whiskey. For all the little moments in life.
Welcome back to the presidential debate, and it's as intense as it gets. This debate could go to anyone at this point, and we're ready to get going. It seems that our fact-checker Zach Oldman from the Let's Talk About It First podcast has requested to ask a question to one of the candidates, so let's go to the debate floor.
Let me say that I thank the moderators and officials for allowing me to ask what I think is a very pertinent question, and I'd like to direct to candidate Jones. Let me say at the start that I absolutely love the suit. Very retro. Candidate Jones, if you were a bee and I was a flower, would you pollinate me?
Ha! I knew you was a Peter Puffer.
Ah, shit. Serves you right, Mr. Dirty Mouth.
Personal foul, spearing, 15-yard penalty.
For telling the truth, it's because I'm white, ain't it?
Another big setback for Republican hopeful Smacky Brown.
Things just don't seem to be going his way tonight.
The next question will be proposed by our very own Walt DeWalt.
I'd like to put this question to Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, your campaign has been based on, and I quote, all the bitches, all the money. Polls indicate that your campaign is very attractive to middle and low-income voters, but resisted by the upper middle and upper classes. Can you clarify if this motto is what you intend to put into policy if elected?
I ain't answering that. I said that to one of my homies, not to the press. Y'all out of y'all goddamn minds.
Ooh, that's a serious penalty. Let's see what the officials say.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, personal foul, verbal punch to the nads. Player is disqualified.
I show you a punch in the nads, mofo.
Come at me, bro.
You know, Walker, there's no reason we can't work together. I think you'd make a hell of a fine vice president under me.
I don't work under anyone less intelligent than me. However, considering your resourcefulness, I feel we could bring order to the world of mortals with you as my VP.
I don't play second fiddle to anyone.
No, you just lose fiddle contests.
There's total chaos on stage as security is attempting to separate Smacky Brown from the referee, who's trying to eject him from the debate. There are fights in the audience, while Gemini Jones has been escorted backstage for their choice of consolation prizes, including a case of Senor Takemeyer Dryland whiskey, the latest in Spydar watch bands, and a lifetime supply of Rice Negroni, the San Francisco Skeet.
And it looks like there's some kind of private squall between Satan and Buddy Walker.
I know you don't have a soul.
I stand before you right now, which makes me real.
Well, I can remove you standing. That's very easy, Mr. Piddle Paddle.
Piddle paddle this, buddy.
I'll piddle paddle you till Jota of its nuke.
It seems that Satan has issued the ancient Klingor challenge of Toljota of his nuke to Buddy Walker.
Our producer has just informed me that in the onstage melee, both Satan and Walker were making statements that each should be the other's vice president, and that turned personal.
There hasn't been a challenge issued in a presidential debate since 1960, when Nixon lost to Kennedy in the drinking competition.
You know, Roland, it's great that you're old enough to remember all the debates.
You'll remember my foot debating your ass, Brad.
With Satan issuing the challenge, we have to wait for Buddy Walker to respond. Keep in mind that Travolta Hvis Nook is a death match for honor, so let's see how Walker responds.
Battle Bolmeve Volchau Chug.
It seems that Walker has responded in Klingor that he accepts the challenge.
Under the terms of Travolta Hvis Nook, the challenge must be satisfied in blood in one Klingor day, which is approximately 3 Earth days. The location and time of the challenge will now be decided, which should give all the networks time to get sponsors and hopefully a lion's share of the coverage ratings.
Unless they choose pay-per-view.
Well, given the importance of this election, that's probably not an option, as I'm sure they will want the most eyeballs on them, so they will probably include streaming services. As long as neither combatant says there can be only one, they can avoid copyright infringements.
So, as this debate has reached an unprecedented conclusion, be sure to join us in 3 days for the upcoming death match between the lead contenders for the Oval Office.
I'm Brad Tomshaw with Roland Headless, and this has been a Politics Tomorrow exclusive. And that's all for Politics Tomorrow for tonight. Join us tomorrow for a look back at yesterday.
You know Satan. He's the big red guy with horns. But did you know he wants to lower crazy taxes, increase border security of Canada's Mexico, and strengthen the economy by increasing exports of imported goods? Well, now you know. But Buddy Walker wants you to bow down before the robot revolution. Buddy Walker wants to oppress you with his artificial intelligence. And Buddy Walker wants to get rid of the penny, a beloved legal currency since 1793. That's right, Buddy Walker wants to devalue the American dollar, 1 cent at a time. And the only thing standing between his plans for the destruction of our economy is the devil himself. That's right, Lucifer, Belial, Morningstar. He's looking out for you, little man. And unlike Buddy Walker, Satan is real. So vote Satan, the only real choice.
I'm Satan, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Evangelicals for Satan Super Quack in conjunction with Satan Corps.
Good evening and welcome to Politics Tomorrow. Tonight, the first ever televised presidential death match in U.S. history between the Republican candidate Satan and the Democratic hopeful Buddy Walker. We're here in beautiful Dan Harbor at the largest sports arena in the country with a sellout crowd of 125,000. And we're streaming on all stations with an audience of nearly 3 billion viewers watching around the world. Joining me is Roland Headless, most senior political reporter for Politics Tomorrow. Roland, the air is simply electrified here tonight.
That's right, Tom.
Brad.
And might I say I'd rather be looking at the back of your mother's head than be here with you. I might add that this is a public venue, and it has received more attention and sponsors than any other event in the history of the U.S. I'm told that a rather large and unspecified amount of betting has been going on, and that this event will affect not only us in this country, but worldwide. The entire planet seems to be holding its breath, with the fate of the free world hanging in the balance.
Very true, Roland. And with the election just 21 days away, this contest has everyone on the edge of their seats. Should one of the contenders actually die, it could lead to a landslide decision on November 5th.
The crowd is definitely ready for the contest, and any moment now, the two opponents will be making their way to the field to fight for their honor. The combat will be broken into rounds of 3 minutes each, and will continue like that until one of the opponents is either dead or incapacitated. Satan has, once again, won the coin flip and will have the first choice of weapons, while Walker has chosen the East Gate for a safe zone.
I think we're all anticipating this event, which has so many sponsors that it's impossible to list them all. And on that note, we'll take the first of 2 commercial breaks. We're just moments away from the fight of the century, so stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Tony Taglioni, owner of Taglioni's Ristorante and Numbers Bar. If you're in the mood for great Italian cuisine and have the inside track on an event you want to get a little action on, come to Taglioni's. We have the best Italian cuisine in the city and the lowest VIG, so you don't even have to leave the comfort of your table to participate in the latest sporting event of chance. We have a real old country atmosphere and menu choices to please the whole family, with a full drinks menu and an updated number sheet to place your bids while enjoying the best food, wine, and hospitality in the city.
Hey there, hi Tony.
Hey, Paulie, good to see ya.
So, what's the over/under in the Senate race?
It's $2,200, but you got a 22-vote spread.
Put me down.
Best of all, you don't have to pony up on a separate check. At Taglioni's, we put your bet and big on the same check for your convenience. Benny, you got too much butter on that plate. Hardening of the arteries is not on the menu. 1 butter. Don't make me tell you again.
Oh, sorry, Tony. I like butter.
Get out of here. Interested in getting in on this year's presidential election? At Taglioni's, you can get the latest poll updates on the candidate of your choice and get the best odds in town for election night. Order off our specials menu and get 10% off the VIG. Specials include Diavolo pepper pizza with Calabrian peppers, spicy Italian sausage, and mascarpone cheese. Hot enough to make you see red and vote red. Goes great with Chianti. Mussels artificiale with a side of linguine intelligentsia and Prosecco wine sauce. It will make you feel liberal blue. Try it with the squirrel beer for that great assurance and aftertaste. A Giminelli Lampredato sandwich with a side of blackened shrimp will put you in the mood for love of both sides. Goes great with 2 glasses of Seagull wine. Hey, that food in the windows is gonna serve itself. Come on, shake a tail feather, sweetheart.
Oh, sure thing, Tony.
So come on down, bring the whole family to Taglioni's for the best of both worlds. And don't think we forgot about the kids. See our junior numbers and fish tacos menu so the whole family can come out a winner. That's the 3rd time this week. That's coming out of your paycheck, you stupid mutt.
Sorry, Tony.
And we're back. I'm Brad Tomshaw. Joining me is Roland Headless on this Politics Tomorrow election special. Tonight, we're covering the challenge issued by Satan during the debate and accepted by Democratic candidate Buddy Walker. We're just moments away from the contenders entering the combat field, and just listen to that crowd.
That's right, Tom.
Brad.
Asshole. This is the first time in our history that the candidates have met where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. I wanted to recognize and thank Dill Fluffer for agreeing to officiate after his encounter with the Republican lame duck, Smacky Brown, who attacked the ref after what he said was, quote, a shit call during the debate.
And Dill is taking the stage, so we can expect... Yes, it looks like the opponents are heading to the field of honor. And there's Satan in the red trunks making his way through the audience, evoking cheers from onlookers.
He really knows how to play a crowd.
Indeed he does, Roland. And now we can see Buddy Walker in the blue trunks making his way in, very reserved and stoic. He's really taking this seriously.
Indeed he is. Both opponents have reached the field. So let's go down to Dill Fluffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Tonight, we will witness a battle of honor at the Westgate and in the red trunks, representing the Republican Party, Lucifer, Lucy Morningstar. And defending the Eastgate, wearing the blue trunks, representing the Democratic Great Digital Hope, Buddy Underdog Walker. To the thousands here and the billions watching at home, let's get ready to roughhouse!
The combatants have taken their corners, and it looks like both have chosen the traditional bat'leth for their weapons. No surprises there.
And there's the bell. Round 1 is underway.
Give it up, Walker. There's no way you can win. You can't kill evil.
I don't have to kill you. I just have to make you surrender.
Then bring it. Not bad, Walker. Where'd you learn to fight?
From your mother.
My mother? What a saint!
Yeah, the patron saint of street horse.
Give it up, Walker. I have you now. Damn it, mother!
And that's the end of round 1.
It looks like that round went to Satan, especially with disarming Buddy Walker.
Well, we'll be seeing the judges' decisions as they come in, but first, our final commercial break.
Do you love Ketamazempic?
But wish you had faster, more personal access to it?
Your friends at Metacram have formulated Ketamazempic to make you think about it all day long.
And into the nighttime, too.
And now, thanks to Bill 96 that was just passed into law by President Dingell, you can grow Ketamazempic at home for fun and profit.
And it's easier than you think. Just plant these laboratory-grade centrifuges in your garden or embed them in your basement foundation and let science do the rest.
Be the first on your block to become a Ketamazempic representative and make some extra cash while you keep you and your family in the blissful fitness of Ketamazempic.
Worried about the legality of selling Ketamazempic?
Don't worry. We won't tell if you won't, and if you get caught, just don't mention our Drug Enforcement Fund, available day and night at the toll-free number on your screen.
Wink, wink.
And the profits are impressive.
Just one vat of Ketamazempic can yield 100 pounds of Ketamazempic per day.
At an average of 500 milligrams per dose, 100 pounds makes 810,718 doses of Ketamazempic that you can keep for yourself or share with your neighbors.
For $40 a dose.
That's over $32 million if you sell it all.
Or over 2,200 doses a day if you decide to keep it all for yourself.
So think it over. A lifetime supply of our miracle panacea.
Or wealthy neighborhood pharmacist.
The choice is yours.
With Ketamazempic.
Welcome back for round 2 of the presidential death match between the Republican frontrunner, Satan Morningstar, and Democratic frontrunner, Buddy Walker, who seems to be holding his own against the Prince of Darkness.
For those watching at home, there was a bit of a row between the contenders during the commercial break.
That's right, there was a verbal exchange between the contenders, which resulted in Satan throwing not only his bat'leth at Walker,
but the transmission of a 37 Chevrolet half-ton pickup truck. Amazing. Wonder where he was hiding that.
Indeed. Well, Walker has found Satan's weakness and is exploiting it to the fullest. Hubris has always been a hot spot for Satan, and Walker is really sticking in the dagger. And here we go with round 2. It appears that both opponents are coming out without weapons.
This has gone beyond politics. It's become a personal grudge match.
Ooh. Oh, you have a good punch for a little guy.
Oh, the only thing little here is in your pants.
You better be glad I'm not using that as a weapon.
Yeah, you might frighten any of the sheep that are watching.
I have you now, Walker. My patented sleeper hold.
Sleep? Too bad that won't work on me.
Ugh!
Let's finish this.
Let's.
This is unprecedented. It seems that both contenders have brought out some kind of light swords.
You mean sabers?
They're not as curved as a saber, idiot. But Brad, are we actually seeing a duel between good and evil?
Well, while some might say it's obvious, there's a great deal of controversy of who is the more evil, Roland. We'll just have to wait and see the outcome.
I sense weakness in you. I find your lack of soul disturbing.
Strike me down, and the Democratic Party will become more powerful than you can imagine.
Your skills as a candidate are complete, but you are not a president yet.
And Satan has cut off one of Walker's arms, and it looks like the rumors are true that Walker is indeed an android.
According to Percon CEO John Miller, he's more of a robot. But it seems the conspiracy theory is true. Buddy Walker is an AI in Lycon body.
And this may really affect his poll numbers. And it seems that Satan has now removed one of Walker's legs.
Oh, he's definitely on the ropes. It looks like Satan is moving in to finish him, and yes, Dill Fluffer is coming in to give him a standing, leaning 8 count, as Satan has been instructed to return to the West Gate. And yes, it appears Walker cannot go on. We take you now to ringside and Dill Fluffer with the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the second round, Buddy Walker is no longer able to continue the fight. The winner and lead contender to the seat of power after technical dismemberment is Satan Lucy Morningstar.
And there you have it. Satan has won by TD and defended his honor and right to the Oval Office. Roland, how do you think this outcome will affect Buddy Walker in the voting booths?
Well, Brad, I'm sure this is not the outcome that Walker wanted. But with the race so close and the fact that he can be repaired, it's still anyone's election. The double dismemberment really plays into his underdog image. We'll just have to wait until Election Day to see how the voters perceive the results here. Definitely a dark day for the Democratic Party.
Well, thank you very much, Roland, and take a nap. Once again, Satan has won the presidential death match by technical dismemberment. With honor restored, the real story will be decided by the voters on November 5th. We want to thank our sponsors and, of course, Dill Fluffer. I'm Brad Tomshaw with Roland Headless. Tune in tomorrow for a look back at yesterday. Good night.
Thanks, Percon.
You're welcome, Jimmy. You know, we get that a lot. People are coming up to me on the street or in my limousine or in the private gym and thank me for all the things Percon does for you. And you know what? It's a true pleasure. Here at Percon, we're happy to bring you the latest technological miracles and electronic items of social jealousy that keep the society moving forward. And that's why we make them, to keep society from getting stuck where it is. Because sometimes you just have to get out and push, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're welcome for that. And for this. Percon is announcing the new AI-infused Lycon with realistic everything. And I mean everything. You can cut its hair, you can polish its nails, and you can feed it nutrients. And you can have it work around the house, help you with homework, and talk to you late into the night. Because at Percon, we believe in real relationships with artificial people. The AI-infused Lycon goes on pre-sale tomorrow at 5 a.m. Pacific Time. And you can get yours in one of 3 custom colors. Don't miss out, people.
Thanks, Percon.
Get out of here, you little scamp.
Steinball. If you're hearing this, it's because I didn't want to. Leave a message.
Dan, Lucy here. Listen, I found something rather unsettling here at headquarters. It's a Taglione betting receipt, and get this, it's for Walker to win. Dan, I don't know who it is, but somebody in the campaign is betting against me. Call me back and let's figure this out.